Welcome back everybody. Today we're gonna play Killjoy on Vods. Today's day 64 of playing every agent on every map. Today's agent Killjoy is in my opinion probably the second best sentinel right now in the game. Her ult is probably the best piece of util you have on the Killjoy, and it's not being that great on Bind really limits her abilities. But before we get into the video, I want to show you something real quick. A friend of mine recently started uploading some Pokemon cards opening on YouTube and also on TikTok and Instagram, and we had a little bet going on. The bet is whoever has 100,000 subs first on YouTube, it has to invite the other to go out for a meal sometimes. So if you want to help me win, you can go sub to me. And if you want to help him win and maybe make him invite me to a dinner, you can also go sub to him. Either way, if he wins, I'm happy for him. And if I win, which I most likely am, I'm going to be happy. And I think he's going to be happy as well. So go check him out on YouTube, also on TikTok and Instagram. It will be linked in the description below. Starting off with A-side defense. A-side defense with a Killjoy is in my opinion pretty hard because first of all your nano swarms and your alarm bot don't really get that much value because the side is pretty open, and second of all playing on A-side is in general not the best thing to choose when you're playing a Killjoy. If you want to play a Killjoy on A, I recommend you use your alarm bot right here and mollies like these to deter anyone from coming into this area. And as soon as you pop those mollies, almost everything gets hit by it, and even this close corner right here gets hit by it and nobody can push into lamps. So as soon as your alarm bot goes off, they either have to choose to be vulnerable and walk into you, destroy the alarm bot and get a lot of damage by the mollies, or run back and then run further back through the mollies and take a lot of damage. So this setup is pretty good just to get some damage off of the enemies that are trying to take lamps. And then for a turret, you have a couple of options. One that isn't too bad is one up here, because it is kind of hard to shoot when you're coming out and you look up here. So if you, for example, are playing here as a Killjoy, somebody's looking up trying to shoot the alarm bot or the turret, you can peek out and collect a free kill. This alarm bot is, this turret is also pretty good because it sees towards the default side, so if somebody tries to walk in through here without making any noise and no smokes given, the turret is gonna attack him. You kind of have to worry about this alarm bot though, this turret though, if you're playing close here. If you walk over here, the turret gets off and you don't get any value from it. Other than that, this is in my opinion the best setup you can do on a side, but there's also some others you can use. One pretty good one too is one like this, where you place a alarm bot right here, place a molly right there for anyone that is trying to go towards bench, and place another molly right here. You pop these two mollies as soon as your alarm bot goes off, and then you can either decide to get a early information turret right here that gets early information over people coming short, or you can use a turret like this in this corner to get information over the people that are trying to come in towards the lamps area. And then you yourself are either holding here, waiting for anyone to come out here, or you can even hide, pop the mollies, peek out. Or you can even play behind triple. As soon as you shoot somebody, you peek out. Most of the times they are going to be pretty close here already, so using this one is kind of a risky one. You can also use that turret, however, if you are playing close here. You have to make sure you're not outside of the range of it. And by doing that, you have a crossfire with your turret, so if anyone sees the turret, get shot by it, they're gonna look at the turret, you can peek out a little bit and collect your free kills. I also really like this setup, but in general, using the first one is also pretty good. And then now to a third one, that is just a plant denial setup. You have a information alarm bot pretty deep here. So if anyone tries to go in the lamps area, you have a molly either here, and even throw a molly up here. And as soon as somebody tries to go for the plant, even a wingman, you can pop either one of the mollies, get damage on the people that are trying to get a plant in. And then to finalize that setup, you can use either a turret here that doesn't get as much information, but it is pretty specific information if somebody is coming out of the area right here, and you yourself are going to be playing backside, not really peeking, maybe jiggling for some information. But in general, your idea is to play weak side, so you're just playing for information and plant denial and wait for your team to come over. What you can also do on a Killjoy that is actually pretty good is to jump spot back here. Same thing is also you can hold from here on top of this thing. Or you can also jump spot towards short, but that jump spot isn't the greatest one. Switching over towards B. On B you have a couple of really good setups. One I really like is one like this. Turret can barely look over the backside area. It is also kind of glitchy, but it can shoot people that are coming out here or that are coming out long. So you have information over both lanes with just one singular turret. You could then use an alarm bot down here with mollies right here and another molly around right here. So as soon as this alarm bot goes off, that means somebody is jumped down and is trying to go towards side. You can pop off mollies and then peek out, do a lot of damage to the people that are coming out towards side. You can also play this setup from over here. This corner is kind of risky though because you can't really get out. But in general, if you then pop the mollies, you can get anyone walking away from the mollies or running away from the mollies, and you can collect some free kills because most of the times they're not going to be focused on clearing corners when they're running away from somebody that damages them. Another turret that is in my opinion really good is one that is towards long. At the beginning of the round you place that turret, and then you can even maybe take the ult orb if you place the turret even further out. Like for example right here, you have a early warning system while taking the ult orb, and taking the ult orb is never a bad idea on a Killjoy because Killjoy ult is pretty strong, even though Bind is not the greatest map for a Killjoy ult. And then as soon as your turret goes off, you know there's enemies coming long. You can, when you don't have any control over long and don't have any information over the rest of the map, just placing a turret right here should be enough. And then you can play close here with the mollies. And as soon as somebody jumps out, you pop off mollies and you get your free kills. If your turret gets destroyed on long, you have to either reposition towards elbow, or you can play the risky angle close here. It is still a pretty good angle, but most of the times you're only gonna get one kill and then get traded. But if you see somebody looking out or like walking out, not clearing your corner, you can just let that guy pass and wait for this next person to come around and collect your guaranteed 2 kills. Other than that, another setup I don't really mind is one like this, where you have a alarm bot right here, a molly all the way back there. This molly gets broken pretty easily though, and then another molly right here. With these 2 mollies, you can then play either close here, even with maybe a stinger, spectre, or just any weapon. And as soon as your alarm bot goes off, you pop off mollies, and then you peek. These 2 mollies do a lot of damage to the people that are trying to run away. And it covers almost all of hookah and makes it pretty easy for you to hold hookah and stall out for your teammates to come over here, or maybe even get a kill or 2 before the enemies are trying to come in. Other than that, you can also use a alarm bot right here to get early information over hookah, but in general, using a alarm bot right here is kind of a waste because it gets triggered as soon as somebody comes in here. And you can't really use that with a molly together, but you can use it if you want to play close here with, for example, even a shotgun. As soon as the alarm bot goes off, you peek around and collect your free kill. Something I really like Killjoy for is playing map control setups. But on Bind, there's not really any good map control setups, so there's only one I found, and I don't even think it's a really good one. But what you can do is, if you place a turret right here, it allows you to get information over this whole lane right here. So you know if anybody is crossing over towards either elbow or through side, top side, or just anything, without even having any players on B. And then you yourself can play here in labs with either a alarm bot close here or even one towards the side area. But it is in general not the best idea. You can also actually place a alarm bot right here to get information over almost all of the map, but it is really limiting because you can only play in this area right here, and you can't peek either on the alarm bot or the turret at all because they are pretty far away. But like this, you have a lot of control over the map, but I would not recommend doing that in a normal rank game. For ults, there's only like really 2 really good ones you can use for a retake. For one, you need the lamps area right here, so if you have a ult and you know the enemies don't have anything to break that ult, it is really important that you keep this area right here. Because if you have this area right here, you can use a ult like this one as soon as the enemies have planted, or if they are in the process of planting, and you can clear out almost any spot on the A side, and you can push the enemies all the way back to there. This ult is really strong, but you also really need to hold on to this area, and you need to worry about the people coming in, throwing util in. If the enemies have a brim ult, playing in here is in general just a bad idea. And if you want to use your ult on the retake, you have to communicate that to your team, so not like all of your teammates die before you even have time for a retake. Then switching over towards B, there is two different possible ults. One is when you have already taken the site. You can use a ult back here in the post plant. This ult is pretty good to get like all of the map on B. Or you can use a second ult in this close corner right here, which does basically the same thing. If you don't have the sight, or if you are able to take the elbow area pretty easily, you can use a ult like this. It also covers all of the cubby area right here and parts of long, but not all of hookah, so you have to kind of worry about the hookah area. If you use a ult like this, throwing mollies inside of hookah is in general a good idea, especially if you have a smoke, to stall the people out even further. Or if you have Techio mollies, you can just molly out the back area of hookah right here, or even a brim ult does the same job. Other than that, Killjoy retakes are in general just a really bad thing, but there's not really a choice. If the enemies walk onto your side, you can collect your free kills with the Killjoy, but if the enemies will go to the other side, you kind of have a problem. Switching over towards attack. On attack, it is pretty important that you hold your flank for your team. So using a turret either up here, if you are going A, or in this close corner right here, is a pretty good thing to get early information over people flanking. Other than that, you can also use a alarm bot over here if you don't have anyone going showers to get information over people flanking through showers. And then you yourself are gonna go with your team. And I actually recommend to don't even go towards side with a Killjoy and just play from main and play your mollies in a post plant. This is probably the easiest way to play a Killjoy. You don't even have to really take space, but it is really good because the enemies have a certain amount of time where they can't really diffuse with your mollies if you place them the right way. If you want to go towards side, I recommend you only go short for a short time to go to plant, and then you use mollies either up here to stop the enemies from diffusing, or use a molly right on the spike to stop the enemies from diffusing as well. Other than that, you can use your mollies to deny the enemies from taking this space again after you have already taken it, or you can use mollies either towards heaven to stop the enemies from peeking out. Same thing also with lamps. Or even towards CT, but I think the one towards CT is kind of a wasted molly because most of the times it isn't too precise and the people can still walk out. But if you are then playing short, you can just throw mollies on the spike. And then you can go even re-lurk towards through towards showers, because if you have the mollies on the spike, you can just pop one molly, walk even further. Your molly should still be running by now. Then pop a second molly, walk even further. And then at the time both of your mollies have been used up, you have a really good off angle on the people that are trying to go for the defuse, and they're not going to be ready for you. But you have to keep in mind that your flank turret is going to go off, so that people can then flank through short without you noticing it. Other than that, if you want to go and take the showers area, for example to get the ult orb or anything in that direction, or in that idea, you can use a turret close here to get information over people trying to push. And then you can take this area right here, and if you want to take the ult orb in a pretty safe way, you can throw a molly, hold a little, pop the molly, take the ult orb, because most of the time they're not going to push through the molly right there. Switching over towards B. B is pretty similar. You can use a turret either right here, but that doesn't allow you to take a lot of space. Or use a turret over towards here. That gives you later information, but it allows you to take a little more space. And then you can use your alarm bot either close here to get information over people TPing. If the enemies have an Omen or a Yoru, that can actually be really good, because they can fake TP or send in a Yoru clone and like that you get information over this area right here without even using any of your like human resources, so you don't have anyone really holding the TP if the enemies like to TP. But this alarm bot right here is, in my opinion, not the best one you can use.
Recalling my bot.
A better alarm bot it would be if you went towards sides and used a alarm bot right here.
Bot coming back.
Or one towards CT.
Alarm bot out.
To get information over people coming out of CT or out of the smoke here in elbow. And then again, use your mollies for post plant. You can stay in hookah, you can even go reflank if you don't have a alarm bot right here. And then you can use your mollies to stall out time. But make sure you've shown in hookah so that people don't really think you're going towards long.
Swarm grenade out.
Then you have popped both mollies and you have a great off angle to people that are trying to go for the defuse. You can also use your mollies similarly to a brim molly by using your mollies towards CT, stop the enemies from pushing out, similarly towards elbow, and then like that, if you throw it even deeper, you can stop the people from pushing in towards the elbow area and make it easier for your team to go in. But these mollies are pretty hard to throw really precisely, especially in the heat of battle, so in general, I'd recommend you just use them for post plant. Starting off with the ults. Ults are pretty hard to place in a good way with a Killjoy on attack, but there are some ults I think that work pretty well. One of them being one right here in this corner, but this one is probably the riskiest one you can use because it can get shot pretty easily by shooting through this edge right here, and even people from backside can shoot this ult by just spraying through here. The other problem with this ult, it can be destroyed by a simple raise nade that is thrown at this door frame, and it is in general pretty hard to even get into this position right here with a Killjoy. Other ults I recommend is one towards here, with a ult like this one, or even a ult towards the other side. You get most of the space from backside towards CT, and it is in general a pretty good ult to take this area right here. But again, this ult can be shot with a sheriff by just shooting through here, and it is in general pretty easy to shoot if the enemies know that you can wall bang through this wall with a heavy penetration weapon. Other than that, there's, in my opinion, not really that many good ults. You can also use your ult after you went for the plant, and then Insta ult. You stop the enemies from retaking the space and give your team more time to play post plant with. Switching over towards B. On B, there's two ults I recommend, either one towards long, in either this corner, the other corner over here, or even here. This one is the hardest to get to, this one probably the second hardest, and this one is just the safest you can get. But with ults like these, you can get almost all of the side space except for the last ult I showed you, where you are lacking kind of the space back here. Then to the other ult, it is this one right here. This one right here is probably, in my opinion, a pretty bad ult, because you can again just shoot through this wall. Even with a classic, you can break this ult. So using your ult right here is kind of risky and kind of stupid in my opinion. Or using a ult like this from over towards this corner. You kind of get the same effect, but you're missing parts of backside, so the enemies can just play back here. If you have, for example, a Techo ult, this ult isn't too bad, but in general, using your ult on B should be done from long, because you get more space on the side. And again, you can also do the same thing with a ult right here, as soon as you went for the plant. This ult is actually probably one of the best ults on B, but it is also pretty easy being able to shoot it, like by just peeking out here and shooting through the smoke. Other than that, using your ults on a Killjoy on B is probably the reason why Killjoy isn't that good on B, or like just on bind in general, because using Killjoy ults is pretty hard on this map. And her util in the other ways isn't the best either. If I had to give Killjoy a ranking from S to F on bind, I'd actually only give her the C tier. That is because Killjoy's best ability, her ult, is most of the times the deciding factor for if you play Killjoy or Cypher on a map. And on bind, Killjoy's ult is actually really bad, and her util in any other ways isn't the greatest either. So placing Killjoy on just the C tier is probably the right choice for this map. That would be it from me. If you want to see any other agents on any other maps, write them down in the comments, and if you want to see anything else Valorant related, write it down there as well. I really hope you have a great rest of your day, and see you guys very soon. Bye!